Okay, so as far as an overview goes, I normally have students do like a little scavenger hunt through Canvas. I don't know that we need something so formal. My hope is that you've made it here, you know how to use Canvas. But that being said, I would like to share my screen so I can show you the student view of Canvas. Let's kind of see what questions come up for us, like where do you want to know where to find things, and I can walk you through that. Okay, so we'll do it more like an as need basis rather than I'll walk through every single thing. Okay, so let me go ahead and share that screen. Oh, I see some other familiar faces, folks that I've had before. That's pretty cool. Okay. So here is the student view of Canvas. All right. So when you sign into Canvas on your computer, you should see something looking like this. There is a logistics tab up here, which is how I presume we all found our way into this Zoom room because we've got our syllabus, our schedule, the Zoom room, as well as the password. Okay. Are there any questions about any of these links that folks would like to see? All right. Well, I think the syllabus is always important. Let's kind of pull that up and see what we have here. All right, so I see a bunch of you already on the syllabus. If you are here, you've cleared your prereqs of 252, which is Calc 3, and 254, which is linear algebra. And I did want to talk about the optional materials, okay? I am not requiring anyone to purchase a textbook. And so as such, I will be providing notes, but they are all based out of this ZIL 10th edition. Okay, now while I cannot put this up on the website, I would encourage you to Google for a free PDF from a non-sketchy website. There should be plenty of non-sketchy options for a free. Okay, so if you type in a first course in differential equations with modeling applications, 10th edition ZIL, there should be plenty of free PDFs for you to choose from. I will tell you there are some typos. However, the typos are more like in the words that they're writing and not with the equations. So for example, once in a while I see them try to write from, but it comes out as fro. So I've seen that. But all of that aside, it is a free textbook. So I figured we would use something free. There is no WebAssign component. So if you had me at some point in the past, I was using WebAssign. I am trying not to use WebAssign anymore. So we will not be using WebAssign. So there is in effect nothing for you to purchase for this class, okay? There are plenty of differential equation textbooks out there if there are other ones that you want to sort of use as a reference, but we will be, all the notes will correspond to things from ZIL, okay? Are there any questions about the textbook or materials that we need for this class? Okay. I do want to clarify the attendance requirement. So it does say that you may be dropped from this class for having more than 2 absences. And what I really want to clarify around that is I am not taking attendance during our lectures, okay? So I'm not going in there and taking note of who is or is not here. I think we all know there are plenty of creative ways to be on Zoom, but not actually be present in class. So I'll leave that up to you. All of our classes will be recorded. They will be posted to Canvas, and it will be a quick turnaround, meaning give me like an hour after class and the video should be rendered and up on Canvas, okay? So if you do miss class, you will have access to a recording to watch what you've missed. But one thing I would caution you against is if you are not going to attend the class, please make sure you watch the videos in the entirety of the video. I think you will find that to be a good balance. If you do not attend class and you do not watch the videos and you are using very creative methods, then that may result in some further action on this end, okay? So just make sure that you are attending class in whatever way you see fit. I would love to have folks in here on the daily so we can just make sure we address all your questions. But at the same time, if you're like, look, like I can do my own work on my own time, that's also fine by me. But I would just caution you, the course does move quickly, so we just don't want to fall in a place where we are behind, okay? Important dates, make sure you read that. This is a very quick turnaround in terms of choosing whether you're going to stay in this class or not. I think most folks at this level choose to stay because you need this class so that you don't need to take it in the fall, or you've had this class before, it didn't go well, and you really need this to go well this time, okay? So most folks tend not to drop this class, but next Monday is the last day to drop without a W on your transcript, okay? There is a softer withdrawal deadline later in July, so just make sure you are aware of that, okay? Blah, 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 blah. Read through the student learning outcomes on your own, academic integrity. Please don't be a cheater. If you need DSPS accommodations, please let me know as soon as possible and we will take care of that. This is what folks typically want to know about, which is the grading criteria. So for those of you who are at state or maybe some other location during the regular academic year, some of your schools may have pluses or minuses, but here at Mesa, we just have the one letter per grade. So what that means for you, if GPAs are important to you, that means that a 90% counts as a 4.0, whereas an 89% counts as a 3.0. And so if we are, interested in maintaining GPAs, getting to that 90% will be significantly better for your GPA than the 89%. And similarly, any 80% will be significantly better than a 79%, okay? So really trying to bump up to that next level if you are close point-wise would be important as it plays out in your GPA, okay? I'm trying sort of a new grading scheme here. So what we're gonna do is we'll have all of weekly discussions, all right, that will be hosted on Canvas. We'll have homework assignments, and then there are 3 unit exams. But if you look at the breakdown of this, if you do every discussion and every homework and you do it well, you are sitting very comfortably close to a passing range, okay? So discussions and homeworks are really where I want us to be synthesizing the information that we learn. Unit exams will be more like the cherry on top of the sundae, so to speak, with that counting as 30% of your grade. So even if you're like, I'm not a good test taker, I don't like taking tests on Canvas, we're looking at 30% here. So if you work with the discussions, you make sure you understand those, you work on the homeworks, you make sure to understand those, then I think there'll be maybe at least a little less pressure in your brain going into a unit exam as far as this is a timed exam, okay? The other reason why I'm choosing to make the point values a little bit less with the unit exam is that differential equations, like each question can take a very long time. And so it's important to me that we're spending that time to master it rather than here's 75 minutes, show me everything that you know. Okay, so I want to sort of really diversify where you're getting to show me what you know. Are there any questions about these 3 sort of main categories in our grading scheme?
Are these tests monitored at all?
They are monitored in the sense that I will be sitting here on Zoom. You are welcome to hop in on Zoom and just have your camera off and your microphone off in case you have questions, all right? So some students prefer to do that. They like to log in. They like to have me available to answer questions, and I completely understand that. Other people are like, ooh, I'd rather just do it on my own. they don't log into Zoom, that's also fine. And finally, there are some folks that are like, I will start on my own, and then I will log in if I have any clarifying questions, and that is also fine. So we're not using any software to proctor the exams, nor are you required to sit and take an exam while I watch you, which I feel like is creepy on so many levels in Zoom that is not creepy in the classroom, but I don't need you to sign into Zoom, is the bottom line.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. No exams or homeworks get dropped. That is correct. Yes. So it is important that we are sort of working towards, all things, but I will say the unit exam should be fairly well aligned with the discussion and the homework. Okay. There are some extra credit opportunities. So does anyone have any questions about extra credit opportunities?
I'm sure you're going to explain it, but I read a little ahead in the syllabus. We only get the extra credit if we do it on that certain format program, the homework assignments. Is that correct? Or
that will be one avenue for extra credit.
oh, okay.
One avenue for extra credit will be using the program. Otherwise, there will be other options throughout. And so extra credit may show up in terms of like maybe a challenge question in the discussion or the homework or the unit exam. So there are certainly other ways of looking at extra credit. Okay. So my goal here is not to make this a like, there's no extra credit at all. I do want to sort of spread that out around maybe the different platforms that'll be useful both in this class and in the future. Okay.
For the discussion, are we, well, later on in the class, are you gonna like break it into parts? So how are we gonna do the parts of the discussion, or are we gonna get an example discussion?
Perfect. So let's do that then. If I go back to the homepage on Canvas, all right, there is a schedule here if you like to see sort of an overview of what we're going to be doing as well as deadlines. The course schedule is right here. You also have a to-do list built into Canvas on that right-hand side. Okay. But as far as what the discussions look like, if we go to assignments, so if you click on assignments, you'll see a list of assignments that have already been input into Canvas. So not every assignment is here yet, but I try and give you at least 1 week out worth of content. Okay, so if you were to click on discussion 1, which is due on Wednesday by midnight. Okay, so if I click on discussion 1, it will show me the questions that I'm supposed to answer. You're gonna reply within the thread of the chat, and then you're going to comment just on the response of at least one of your peers. Okay, so that's pretty much how the format will go for the discussions. You'll have a few questions, you'll answer them, and then you'll be asked to comment on at least one of your peers' responses. Okay, does that make sense in terms of the discussion formats?
Yeah, thanks. Just for the response part, how much does it have to be or to get full points? That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, I see. I would be thorough, but I don't need you to write a novel on it. And so when I say things like explain maybe a sentence or two, depending on the question, does that make sense? So it's more about like maybe keywords that I'm looking for rather than like how many sentences you have.
Oh, okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay. All right, so those are the discussions. If we go back to the assignments, we can see that homework 1 has been posted, homework 2 has been posted, and you can see the deadlines and points underneath here. So if I click on homework 1, this is what each homework assignment will look like. Okay, so again, because I'm not requiring you to purchase a textbook or WebAssign, all of the homeworks will be typed out for you. There will always be a Google Link one. So I know that some folks have access to a printer or have a tablet they prefer to work on. And so you can use this version here. There will be, I have to fix this link later, there will be a PDF in case you don't want the space included in there, because I know, again, the differential equations kind of take up a lot of space. Everybody uses a different amount, so you might prefer this format. But for the extra credit, okay, so one of the ways in which you can earn extra credit is to use the LaTeX file. This is 100% optional, okay? It is a program that I think is useful in a lot of ways, but you do not have to use this. For those of you who are sort of into coding or you have coding experience, I think LaTeX is actually not too bad to pick up. And what I like about it is if I see a question and I see one that's similar, I can copy and paste my code, and then I can modify the numbers in the new problem. So I don't necessarily have to write it all out again. And so for those of you who are like, yes, that actually sounds better to me, LaTeX is not a bad thing to play around with. But I also know that it takes a while to kind of learn it, and 8 weeks in summer school might not be the place that you want to learn it. So there's no pressure to use this, but it is something, an additional tool for you if you wish, okay?
I have a question about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that going to be 5 extra credit points total or 5 extra credit points per assignment?
Per assignment.
Okay, great, thank you.
Per assignment. So if you use LaTeX for every single assignment, we have 7 of those. 7 times 5 will give you 35 bonus points. Okay. Robert says that he's used LaTeX. Yes, for abstract math classes. If you are a math major, it's not a bad tool to get under your belt. You will encounter some instructors who require you to use it. But for me, I just want to put it out there. I'm not requiring you to use it because I know we all are sort of, going off on different paths. You may never use LaTeX again, and you should not feel any pressure to use it. The other nice thing is for those of us who've always been like, oh, my handwriting is so bad. LaTeX is typed. It looks very fancy. It looks like you pulled it straight from a textbook. And so that might also be another reason why you want to choose LaTeX, but you don't have to. All right, what other questions do we have about sort of the structure of the class or the content? What can I answer for you today? Oh, I do not have that experience. Does anybody have experience in that? I bet we have quite a few coders in here. Okay, well, while we're thinking about that, I did want to just show you the announcement. So you should have gotten 2 emails from me already. All right. I will send out at the very least 1 announcement per week. Okay. And so, for example, the La Semana, week 1 would be where you find all the information for week 1. And the way I structure it is there's going to be some general announcements at the beginning. I'll tell you what we're going to cover that week along with the assignments and their due dates. So I know Canvas has a calendar, but this is another way that I will remind you about the due dates for assignments. Okay. There is, however, I have created a Discord server for this class. I know that I don't have official office hours during the summer, but I'm on my computer a lot. And so Discord is a really easy way for me to just sort of correspond with students. So if you'd like to hop on that, let me go ahead and drop this link in the chat for us. I hope it's still valid, I think. So let me know if you can't sign into that. But maybe let's take a moment to do that, especially if you're on your computer, to hop on that Zoom or hop on that Discord server. Again, it is a great way to ask me clarifying questions, both in the one-on-one, you can direct message me, or you can put a post out to the entire group. So that's really up to you. You can also make your own study groups, but I know that, you know, in a class where normally you'd walk in, maybe talk to the person sitting next to you, it's just nice to feel like you're not doing this alone. So you're welcome to make your own study groups, but you can also just join the Discord server if you're like, I don't really know anyone in this class and I'd like to, you know, start to talk to people about the math, okay? Additionally, I do have office hours that are available by appointment. So if you are really stuck on something, maybe it's just easier for us to hop on Zoom and talk through the problem, that's absolutely fine as well, okay? So every week you'll get an announcement like this. I try and send those out by like Saturday or Sunday so you can kind of get a feel for what's coming up that week, all right? I think that's as far as the announcements that I wanted to talk about. Does anyone have any questions that they still have about this course? And it's okay if you don't know what those questions are yet, you can always ask later. I do see one question, which is, do we take our exams during our scheduled class time? And that is yes, you do take the exams during class time. So exams are during scheduled. Okay. And you can find all exam days on the course schedule link. Excellent. I see a bunch of new folks on the server. Looks like the link worked. And it looks like folks were able to post directly to here, which is great. Thank you, David, for posting that PDF. All right. So you can go ahead and bookmark that right now for your PDF for the textbook. Okay. All right. So if there are no other questions right now, let's hop right into the content and get started, all right? So the way that works, if you go back on Canvas, which I actually did not show you, but if you're on Canvas and you go to, for example, today we're gonna do 1.1 and 1.2, there should be a link where you can go and find the blank notes for 1.1 and 1.2, okay? So if you are someone who has a printer or a tablet, it might be good to sort of print out a bunch of them or upload a bunch of those to your tablet before, you know, we get too far. If you do not have a printer or a tablet, then you can write your own notes, but I'll also post my complete notes to here when we're done with the day. Okay, so whatever we finish will still be uploaded. So if you missed something, you can go back and find that. And all of that is section by section. So 1.1 will have the blank notes, the complete notes, and the lecture video for that section. Okay. All right.